Weddings. Everyone is talking about weddings. I don't know, why do women want to get married in June? What is it about June?
June's a beautiful month. I think that it's usually like, you know, spring to summer, and it's fresh and young and beautiful flowers.
Right, it makes your hormones horny. Okay.
Okay.
So, I always read, I don't know why, I've never been married. Alan, you're going through a bitter divorce.
No, it's all way behind me.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. So, I don't know, I always read the wedding announcements in the paper, and I thought this June... By the way, were they always this personal? Did they always tell the whole story of the wedding?
And the wedding announcement?
You mean how they met? And
how they met? I'll just give you one example. This tells about how the mother set the two up. My mother was visiting the Robinsons without consulting me. She gave the guy the girl's number and said she'd love to hear from you. So the mother, you know, Jews, who's to say? From you. So the mother, you know, Jews, who's to say? And then they went on a date, but they both considered it a date, they said, with a lower D. In other words, they weren't gonna. Okay. But when she saw him again, Mrs. Watts noticed that he was much more handsome than I remembered. She was also impressed by his ability to talk his way into a sold-out museum. In this case, the Holocaust Museum. That is a good first date, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, but, you know, I think what you're reacting to is probably that why all this information, and the truth is I think it's directly proportionate to how interested we are in those people. You know, look at People magazine. Russell Crowe will get 4 pages for a French kiss. You know, we're interested in that. We want to deal with that. But these people are just trying to tell their story. And let them. Most people only get married 3 or 4 times in their life. So let them tell their story.
But he's Russian.
No, think of it really from the point of view of the writer. If you're writing the wedding announcements, it's a lot more interesting to write that than, you know, Joel Fishman married Greta Greenberg yesterday at wherever they went. At least this way, as a writer, you get a chance to actually do something.
Yeah, but think about how many column inches in that same paper are dedicated to murders and rapes and fires and all this other tragedies. I mean, this is something, you know, in our society that we actually should celebrate, which is marriage, which is the foundation of our civilization. And yeah, it's a little over, it's a little over the top.
Not the foundation of our civilization.
Absolutely.
It wasn't even a sacrament in the church until 1215 today.
And the 12...
Getting married. We should encourage marriage with all the other horrible things going on in society. You watch the news, the first 5 stories tonight on the news, we're all
But I think they're married here today.
You
so
should have spoken to Rick Rockwell before.
No, nobody's
sent home because we're not married.
No, that's not the point. The point is that
you want government to just favor everything that you believe in. That's not what this government was founded on. We should have Jesus Day. We should encourage marriage. What about the people who don't believe in Jesus and don't believe in marriage? What about us?
You have a pretty good country where you can come on a show like this and make those points. The point on the marriage is, in the society, when you look at problems in society today, many of the problems in society today are kids that come from broken homes. Statistic after statistic shows that that's a problem. We should encourage marriage. It doesn't say that if you're single, I have family members, I have friends that aren't married. That's not a condemnation on them. But the point is, it is a marriage.
Some of my best friends are single, huh?
Yeah, no.
Everybody wants to know about getting where they met and like if they had burgers and fries together. You know, they kind of want to know like who's getting married and when. That's what they care about.
I kind of want to know if they had burgers and fries together.
I find it fascinating.
I'm riveted.
I mean, he read it, so
there's a woman named Lois Brady who writes these things for the Times, and she's a wonderful writer. And you sit there, and these people had there was somebody who had their wedding at the cheese department of the Fairway food store. I was riveted. I thought, who chose this?
I'm telling you, I am fascinated by this.
That's where we went wrong.
Exactly right.
Especially because it's the New York Times, which is the driest paper in the great paper. But I mean, I don't know why, but I am constantly drawn into this stuff. Listen to the way they made a second date, this couple. Let me get back to this couple. This time with an uppercase D. It was a sunset ride on the Staten Island Ferry.
Oh.
Hey, your tokens are no good here, babe. Eating stinky cheese and drinking a lot of wine. In other words, they're gonna do it this time. And for the guy, the deciding moment was when they missed the ferry back to Manhattan and she rolled with it.
But that's a beautiful story. I think there's a Tom Hanks movie in that.
Yeah, maybe they're pitching it. That's exactly
there we
true.
go. Mystery screenplay.
And it is more difficult, you know, speaking of that, I think in the celebrity community, anybody who is at all well known, what you're talking about there is embellished and ends up in the Inquirer, you know, and the embarrassment is it's a gushy photo of the wedding, and then 6 months later you're having pasta with Robert Blake, you know, and then that picture goes in the Inquirer. But then the tabloids and the celebrity, they'll print both, you know, you get the before and the after kind of pictures. And that follows you around. Here, at least, it's the 15 minutes of fame. It's something that families celebrate.
That's exactly
it's their moment. They celebrate it, and then they call their lawyers.
I just find it fascinating how people get together. There's another one I read a few weeks ago from the weddings editor at Martha Stewart magazine. Got married. Listen to this. She said, I went on 3 blind dates a week for 10 years.
Really?
What?
Sorry.
That's not good.
She was doing something wrong.
No.
Somewhere there would have been a second date.
Well, listen to this. She said, the first night I kissed him, the guy she married, all I could think about was Martha Stewart.
Well, you know, Martha has that look, I guess.
Did Martha come to the wedding? Does it say?
It doesn't say. It just says how they... Yeah, and you know, it's amazing also here, about half of these women, it says, keeps their own name. Nobody wants to take the husband's name anymore.
More power to them. Keep your name. Be proud of your name. I love my name.
So if you got married, you wouldn't change your name?
Well, I don't know. It's a toss-up. I mean, if it's a really good last name, maybe I'll take it. But I'm just kidding. No, I actually, the more I say my name, the more I think it is a devotion to your husband. I think it is a good thing to take his name. But I'm very proud of my name. I love the Filipino heritage that I have, and I want to keep it. You know, for as long as I can.
We got to take a break. We'll be back.